in a movie in 1986. I called it they couldn't. I said, right, that ain't funny. So to me, it was.
In 1986, I got a part in a movie, and I remember the line I had, "They couldn't." I responded, "Right, that ain't funny." At that point, it wasn't about humor for me, it was about the craft and the realness of the work. But it wasn't until 2018 that I finally got a line that felt like a legitimate quote that I could hang my hat on. Since then, I haven't received a raise or significant recognition, and with every new project, I find myself fighting for more. Every step of the way, I have to battle for the respect I deserve. It's exhausting, but it's just the nature of the industry. It's hard to see things for what they really are when you've been in the game for so long. I'm not just talking about the work either. It's the way they treat you. It's like sending your son off to war. People talk about movies like they're nothing, as if it's all pretend. But when it hits home, it's a completely different story. When your own experiences are on the line, people don't seem to understand that. They think it's just a movie or entertainment. But for someone like me who's been in the industry for years, it's real. And yet, I still see the same thing happening time and time again. The way I'm treated is consistent, it doesn't change. You see how other productions are handled, and yet when it's my turn, there's no money or respect involved. It's like all the energy is drained, and then they act like there's nothing left for you when it's your time to step up. I heard people talking about me on social media recently, claiming I wasn't supporting something I should have. But the truth is, I'm just trying to make sense of this whole thing. Now let me tell you about a situation that has people talking, Denzel Washington and Oprah. Recently, rumors have surfaced that Denzel made a major revelation involving Oprah, something that could completely change how people view her. According to these rumors, Denzel allegedly released some sort of pornographic footage that has turned Oprah's life upside down. People are claiming this is a massive bombshell, one that could ruin her entire reputation. Now, I'm not one to feed into rumors, but the discussions around this are certainly intriguing. Is this something that could be the breaking point for Oprah? The speculation alone has made her the topic of conversation worldwide. How could someone like Oprah, with her immense influence, let something like this happen? Many are asking why Denzel chose this moment to expose the truth. Has Oprah known about this all along? How is she coping with this latest stress, especially in the public eye? It's not just about a simple video anymore. It's about a bigger issue that's threatening to unravel the carefully crafted image Oprah has built over decades. There's a lot of talk about what's really going on and what people claim this video contains. Some say it's modern footage, others insist it's old. The uncertainty around it is what makes this situation even more absurd. Everyone is making assumptions without knowing the full story. While people are clamoring to see the video and figure out what's actually in it, the truth is, no one really knows. Some even say that Oprah is acting as if she's completely unaware of the situation, trying to play it off like nothing is happening. But we can't ignore the fact that this is becoming a bigger issue. Beyond the video, though, there are other matters at play. One of the most disturbing things that's been brought to light involves Oprah's alleged ties to human trafficking. For those who aren't familiar with what's going on, there was a controversy around a company called Wayfair. The company, which you might know as an online furniture retailer, became embroiled in a scandal when people began to notice suspiciously expensive furniture items like tables and cabinets that were listed for hundreds of thousands of dollars. But these weren't just any items, they were allegedly connected to trafficking. Some people believe that Wayfair was involved in a disturbing practice where high-priced furniture pieces were actually code for human trafficking. The theory was that these expensive items weren't actually furniture at all, they were human beings. And the more people dug into it, the more connections seemed to surface, linking the company to broader trafficking operations. Some even speculated that Oprah was somehow involved in this. After all, she has a long history of financial connections and influence. People began asking, how could someone with such power be unaware of these things? Let's not ignore the fact that Oprah has had some serious connections with powerful figures like former President Barack Obama. She was known to be a close friend of his, and many believe that her association with him allowed her to influence things on a grand scale. If Oprah truly had the power to stop these crimes, why didn't she do anything about it? Why did she stand by while this was happening? Some are saying that Oprah knew about this situation and failed to take action. Given her influence and platform, she could have helped shine a light on these dark practices, but instead, she turned a blind eye. Additionally, many are pointing out that a significant portion of those trafficked were African Americans. If Oprah truly cared about her own community, why didn't she use her platform to combat the trafficking of black people? If she was so involved with the Obamas and had access to the right people, why didn't she speak out or take action? The whole situation raises many questions about her role in all of this. If she knew about these crimes and chose to stay silent, that is something that cannot be ignored. The deeper you dive into the situation, the more troubling it becomes. Oprah's involvement in these scandals is not just a rumor anymore, it's a question of complicity. If she truly cared about the issues that affect Black communities and other marginalized groups, why didn't she speak up sooner? There's an undeniable sense of betrayal for many who trusted her and her platform to bring about positive change, only to learn that she may have been complicit in a system that was harming people. On top of all of this, there's the larger question about Oprah's own career and the way she built her empire. Many have wondered how Oprah became such a cultural icon in the first place. People who've been in the industry for years, like me, have often questioned how she managed to gain such influence. It wasn't because she was particularly beautiful or conventionally talented, and yet she managed to build a massive following. How did she do it? And now, people are starting to connect the dots, realizing that her rise to fame may not have been as innocent as it seemed. It's also worth noting that Oprah has been involved in some strange, almost cult-like behaviors, especially when it comes to her own network and the way she marketed it to women. Some have accused Oprah of promoting a very narrow, idealized version of womanhood, one that can be very dangerous for those who fall under its influence. Oprah's brand has been built on selling an image of empowerment, but when you look behind the scenes, it becomes clear that there is a darker side to everything she's done. The situation with Harvey Weinstein is another example of Oprah's alleged complicity in the entertainment industry's darker side. Weinstein, the disgraced Hollywood mogul, was accused by dozens of women of sexual harassment and abuse. Oprah has said publicly that she didn't know what was going on with him, but her response to the accusations against him has raised eyebrows. She denied knowing anything about the situation, saying, "Of course I didn't know any of this was going on." That statement alone has been seen as a cop-out, especially when you consider that Oprah was close friends with Weinstein and could have had a role in exposing his behavior. In the wake of these revelations, people like Rose McGowan and other survivors of Weinstein's abuse have accused Oprah of turning a blind eye to their suffering. If Oprah truly had the power to stop these kinds of things from happening, why didn't she use her influence to help? Instead, she allowed these abuses to continue unchecked. It's a pattern of behavior that many are now pointing out, and it's one that speaks to a larger issue of complicity in the entertainment industry. The fact that people like Sabrina Bittersweet, who reported on this issue, mysteriously ended up dead, only adds to the sense of conspiracy surrounding these matters. It's a tragic reminder of how dangerous it can be to challenge the powerful figures in the industry. And yet, even in the face of all this, Oprah continues to maintain her innocence, pretending like she had no knowledge of what was going on behind closed doors. In the end, this entire situation with Oprah, Denzel, and the Wayfair scandal is about much more than just one video or one piece of gossip. It's about a system that protects those in power and leaves the vulnerable to suffer. Whether Oprah knew about the trafficking or not, her failure to act, especially when it came to the abuse of women and children, has left a stain on her legacy. And it's this kind of behavior, this culture of silence, that allows these problems to continue unchecked. People are starting to wake up to the truth, and the more they learn, the harder it will be for Oprah to maintain her position at the top of the entertainment world.